King Charles is plotting brutal revenge on Meghan Markle, with the King's former butler revealing that the exasperated monarch has had enough and is considering completely stripping the Duchess of Sussex of her HRH titles. Now, it's my understanding that Charles is becoming increasingly concerned and angered by his daughter-in-law's use of her royal status in her business and media career. Former royal butler Grant Harrold, a man I know well, he's been on my show many times, has revealed in a bombshell interview that the King may well pull the plug on Meghan exploiting the royal family for financial gain. Now, speaking to Prime Casino, Grant Harrold, who, let's be honest, knows the King better than anyone. He's been with the King at close quarters, in intimate surroundings. He knows how the guy ticks, and they are friends. And Grant Harrold has said that Meghan Markle's move into the hotel business makes no sense whatsoever. And he's absolutely right. He said it's going to fail because the bottom line is that Meghan is about as hospitable as the reptile enclosure at London Zoo. But here's the thing, yes, it will fail. But there are concerns also within the palace that in a desperate effort to get her hospitality business up and running, Meghan may cynically leverage her royal status and ramp it up, particularly by using those titles. Now, if that happens, Grant Harrold has said, he's on the record as saying this, that Charles will act, and he will act fast, which to me is the best news of the day, best news of the week, best news of the year, because Charles has been far too kind, far too tolerant over the years, as was Queen Elizabeth, who was the one that, if I'm honest, and I don't want to be brutally unkind to Mom, who is up there in heaven, but she's the Queen of Heaven now, having been the Queen of the United Kingdom, but she trusted Harry and Meghan not to use their HRH titles. She said, you stay HRH, but please don't use the titles when you give up your royal duties. And what do? They go off and they are HRH all over the shop. So Charles is absolutely right to be concerned, and he's absolutely right to consider wielding the axe. Look at what Meghan's been doing recently. She appeared as a guest on the Jamie Kern-Lima show, in which, once again, she overshared and made it all about her. And Jamie Kern-Lima, who I've got no objections to as a person, she's a successful entrepreneur, seems like a very nice lady. She revealed a photo of a personal gift that she received from Meghan Markle, from Princess Tippy Toes, from my husband. And it said as follows, right? Meghan has written this. She sent a package to this lady, probably some of that disgusting inedible jam, of which she sold 11 jars, and apparently it's sold out. Do me a favour. And on this note, this little gift box to this lady, it said, with compliments of HRH, the Duchess of Sussex. So, quite honestly, Meghan Markle knows no shame. She knows no shame. She knows no shame. Can you think of anybody else on the planet, even Vladimir Putin or Kim Jong-un, or whoever's in charge of Iran at the moment for the time being? The clock's ticking. It doesn't matter how dreadful the person is. I can't imagine anyone that would sit down and have a conversation with Queen Elizabeth, one of the greatest Britons of all time. Queen Elizabeth II, who was at the throne for 70 years. Can you imagine anyone sitting down with the Queen and promising her that you won't use HRH? And then, the second that poor woman has passed, you're sending unwanted gift packages to people, and it's HRH this, HRH that. It's shocking. She knows no shame. I don't know. Honestly, folks, you know, I'm a naughty boy. Sometimes I get a parking ticket. I always pay my taxes. I wouldn't hurt a fly, but, you know, I've bent the rules in life. Okay, and I probably, I've said things I regret. I cannot imagine reneging on a spoken word commitment to Queen Elizabeth. I cannot imagine reneging on a handshake and a deal with one of the greatest monarchs in the history of the world. Can you? But Meghan quite happy to do that. With compliments, HRH, the Duchess of Sussex. And that was stamped beneath Meghan's royal cipher, because she's got her curly M as well, which she got from the Queen. She got everything from the Queen. She got her wealth and her fame and her position and her status from the Queen through Harry. She's raided the whole family. It's been a cash grab. It's been like a burglary. It's been an emotional and cultural burglary is what it has been. It's been a bank job. It's been a heist. Meghan Markle has performed a heist on the royal family, and she's taken all the gold. She's got the bullion. She's got the cash. She's got the jewellery. And it breaks my heart to see it as a British man, to see how she has exploited that family and continues to do so to this day. So no wonder Charles is concerned, and no wonder he is considering wielding the axe. We also have a lot of other things that she's done. Her personal correspondence and stationery. It's got HRH all over it. HRH, the Duchess of Sussex. I'm not Meghan Markle anymore. Didn't you know? I'm Meghan Sussex. Yes, I am. And don't ever call me Meghan Markle. How dare you? I will take you down, and I will take you down to Chinatown is where I will take you, in Chinatown. Oh, where they have Far Eastern cuisine in Chinatown is where I'll take you down there for the Far Eastern cuisine of chopsticks. You'll be having chopsticks and chop suey and dim sum and sweet and sour soup, which I've never understood how soup can be sweet and sour at the same time. Make it make sense. Don't you know? I'm not Meghan Markle anymore. I'm Meghan Sussex. So it's quite shocking. It's really, really shocking that this woman craves the IP of the royal family, the intellectual property. But this is the same woman who went on the Oprah Winfrey interview, which, by the way, I would love. Wouldn't you love the royal family to sue Harry and Meghan for the comments made in that Oprah interview? It's not too late to sue. I don't think we've got the statute of limitations yet. I think King Charles, he's got some money. He can afford good lawyers. And what he should do is he should take Meghan down to Chinatown. And Harry will be happy because Harry loves court cases anyway. So he'll be in his element. He knows the judge already because he's there every 10 minutes, suing the British press, suing anyone he can find, and always losing, of course. He has a 100% hit rate of always losing court cases. It's quite a remarkable talent. It's a talent to lose all the court cases. Well done, Harry. Humpy dumpy dumpy dump, the world's least happy millionaire and the man most rubbish on the planet at suing people. Humpy dumpy dumpy dump. Do you know that he's on the hook for $3 million from lost court cases? $3 million! Do you know something? That's most of his spare money. It actually is, because he made $20 million from Spare, the book. He gave $1 million to charity. Fair play. I will grant you that was a lovely thing to do, Harry. Well done. So $1 million to charity. Fine. That takes us down to 19. But then you've got your taxes. You know about the taxes? And that's a lot of tax, right? 40% at least, because the higher rate, all of that. So, I mean, let's not go down the murky world of my mathematics. But I think after, the management, the publisher, and the marketing, all that stuff, right? The guy's probably left, and taxation, he's probably left. And he's in California, by the way, so he's probably got 11 cents left. You're looking at, I'll give you a ballpark figure. He's probably kept about $8 million from that, okay? Minus the $3 million from the failed court case, that leaves him with $5 million. Then he's got the outgoings on the mansion. 16 bathroom mansion, that's a lot of lavatories to clean every day. They've got the koi pond, they have security, they've got the kids' education. It's costing a lot of cash, a lot of dough. Plus, I believe there's a mortgage on that place as well. So he's not seeing a lot of change from that $20 million for Spare. And so the couple are getting desperate. And I think that, it's human nature, isn't it? If someone's in a corner, they come out fighting. They become, the worst enemy that you can have, folks, is someone that has nothing to lose. That's your worst enemy. You meet a guy in the street, life hasn't treated him well. He's going nowhere in his life. All he's got is a weapon. He's got a shirt on his back. He's got a weapon. Nothing. There's no home. There's no bank account. He's probably the wrong person to get into a fight with. I can't lie. The guy's got nothing to lose. He's got no skin in the game, is what I'm saying. He's got no skin in the game. He's got no skin in the game. He's got no skin in the game. That was a brand new composition. I don't have to pay anyone royalties. I am quite nervous about when the bills come in for the various musical overtures during the show. I do wonder, that's going to be some crowdfunder, isn't it, to pay the Beatles and Sir Elton John for all of the music that has been performed on this show. So, by the way, so uncannily accurately, isn't it? It's nearly like Elton's here. Okay, so HRH, they are shameless. And no wonder Charles is ready to wield the axe, okay? So, private notes, correspondence, HRH from Meghan, using the title in personal, non-commercial contexts. Now, critics argue that this subtly violates the spirit of the agreement. Because here's the thing, right? Technically, and I hate to say this, it sickens me really, and especially if you're watching in Down Under, right? But Australia and New Zealand, right? So many viewers and listeners in Australia and New Zealand, good day. And they normally have their good morning. They normally have their breakfast with the Mark Dolan show, which I think is a very, can I just say, I think the Mark Dolan show is a very wholesome breakfast. You get your vitamin Bs, you get your Ds, your Es, right? You get your nourishment, you get your fiber. I'll keep you moving. I'll keep your digestive tract in good flow. Don't worry about that. Quite seriously. So I apologize if you're having your breakfast down under. By the way, people consume this show at all times of the day. Some Americans have their breakfast to this show, lunch, dinner. There are insomniacs. It's great to have all of you, folks. I do hope the show is not curing anyone's insomnia. I won't let that happen. Not on my watch. So, but I'm going to upset you now as you eat your breakfast down under. Australia, amazing culture, by the way. What a history, what a culture. I've not been. I need to go. The Mark Dolan show is going to America in 2 days' time for daily videos from across the United States. Cannot wait. But I need to go down under. It's critical, actually, that I do. Right. So I hate to tell you this. It's very unfortunate news, which is that Meghan Markle is HRH. I'm afraid she is actually HRH, because the agreement was you stay HRH, but please don't use it publicly in an official capacity. So I also hate to tell you that she's not breaking the rules as such by doing personal correspondence HRH. She's actually not breaking the rules. I hate to say that, but I've got to be fair, and we have to deal with facts on the Mark Dolan show. And that is the case. But what she's done, as I mentioned, she's contravened the spirit of the law. You have de facto and de jure. I think I got this right. Bit of Latin for you. Amo amas amat. Amanis. Oh, that education wasn't wasted. De jure, de facto. The de facto is, I believe, the nuts and bolts of the law. That's just like what you can and can't do, black and white. De jure, from memory, forgive me if I've mixed them up, but de jure, I think, is the spirit of the law. And so de facto, she's okay to do what she's done. De jure, not so much. And also, can I just say something? I've got 3 words for you about Megs. Okay. What a loser. What a loser. And I say that because she's supposed to be this powerful, independent woman, right? Oh, she's battling against the establishment. She's just a little minnow, she's just David against Goliath. She even mentioned it on a podcast recently that she's been navigating bigger things than herself. A clear reference to the royal family. Navigating, by which she means destroying and eviscerating. But what a loser. I'm running out of things to throw off the desks. I'll be honest with you, in some ways, I've tidied up. It's not unwelcome. Mrs. Dolan would be delighted. The first time we've ever broadcast a show and the studio is tidier than when I came in. You're welcome. What a loser. And what I mean by that is that, yeah, she's this strong, independent woman, this feminist icon, okay, that's battling in a man's world. And yet she's got to hang on to arcane English vernacular to have any identity and credibility. What a loser. Do you know what I'm plain old Mark Dolan. I'm not Lord this or Sir that or HRH or LWN or bye WXZZ whoopsie daisy turn me upside down toilet time. That, by the way, wouldn't be a bad name. I might write that. I'm going to play that back to myself and get it in Indeed poll as my new name. # toilet time. But, you and I don't need it. I love your comments, and you've got brilliant names like Sue. I have a lot of Sue, Linda, Barbara, beautiful names. Robert, Paul, gorgeous, right? You've all got fine names. There's no HRH among you, and Lord this, and Lady that, and Dame upside down, eat a pizza face. Seriously, I'm not happy about that, and I just think it's quite pathetic that she does that. You see, if I was advising Meghan, and of course she takes no notice of anyone, which is why she gets through staff members like James Corden gets through Krispy Kreme donuts. And that's the thing. She needs those titles. And it demonstrates everything we need to know about this woman, which is that she's a phony. The whole thing's a scam. Right? The business empire. She's selling jam. Apparently, she sells out after 11 minutes. Then there's no stock for 3 months. Then we got a podcast, which no one listened to. And then she's like, I don't want to do season 2 yet. I want to be at a different stage in my career. I mean, it's just, the whole thing is unraveling before it. Now she's going to be a hotel magnate, right? It's going to be the new Marriott, the Markle Marriott Hotel. Very uncomfortable, I would have thought. You'll be lying on a bed of nails. There'll be no lovely, mini bar or any of that stuff. Just flower sprinkles on the pillows, which are, I'll be honest with you, in my view, my personal scientific opinion, I believe that those flower sprinkles are toxic. I believe they're hallucinogenic, and we're not supposed to eat flowers. She needs HRH because she's got nothing without it, because there is nothing there. So, I mean, I would love the royal family to sue Harry and Meghan for the Oprah interview, actually. I don't think it's too late. I don't think we have the statute of limitations. Harry loves a court case, and Meghan played a lawyer. So she can just go back into that role that she played in Suits. She's got the script. She can get some old scripts out. She can practice saying, objection, Your Honor. Objection, Your Honor. No wonder Charles is worried. He's absolutely right to be. So she's allowed to call herself HRH privately in correspondence, but it's pathetic. It demonstrates her as a sado, as a complete loser. And I just hope that Charles is sharpening his sword as we speak. She also, by the way, she did something worse than that, because like I said, she's within the kind of strict definition of the law, of the rules, by doing what she's done. What she's not allowed to do is share a letter from the Vice President of the Ukraine referring to Meghan directly as Your Royal Highness on Instagram, which she reposted. Now, that's a public platform, isn't it? From a world leader. She's reposted it. She knew exactly what she was doing. She was winding everyone up. She was stirring the pot, is what she did. She was stirring that pot because she loves to stir the pot. It's the only good thing that she can do in the kitchen, is stir the pot. I'm still here. Don't panic. Right. Oh, do you know something? Can I just say, I'm getting too old for some of these gymnastics. And it's heating up in here, but I don't want to turn on the world's loudest air conditioning unit, which I believe comes from the Second World War. It's pretty wild. I've got so much to get through. Don't go anywhere. We've got so much work to do. Do not go anywhere. So that's what she did. She reposted on Instagram HRH from this guy. That's public. That's again, and that is enough. That's grounds to be taken down to Chinatown. Charles has got to take her in hand. She's been using the unspoken implication that she's royalty for years now. And what he needs to do, you see, the reason why he needs to strip the title is that he would say to me, well, Mr. Dolan, we do have an agreement with my daughter-in-law that she will remain HRH, but not use HRH in a public role. And I would say, Your Majesty, by the way, at this point, I'm on my knees, okay, beneath it, the great man. If I stick around long enough, I might get a knighthood. Who knows? This is not the first time a man has rested his sword on my left shoulder, so we can but dream. And I'd say, Your Majesty, with the greatest respect, you need to make it abundantly clear that Meghan Markle, your daughter-in-law, is no longer a royal, because just the implication that she says HRH, even if she doesn't use it, the implication, it's unspoken. That's enough. That's why it's got to go. And you need to make a statement, because if you remove HRH, which is a very simple process because it's granted by the monarch, by the sovereign, and it can be ungranted, as it was for Sarah Ferguson, Princess Diana, and old Randy Andy, your own brother. It's not a complicated thing. Letters patent is what it's called. It's called a letters patent that I'm gonna write to you. It's a letters patent, and it's always true. It's a letters patent. Please write one for Meghan. It's a letters patent, and she damn well deserves it. Okay. We've got work to do. Folks, now, and you know what it is as well? He needs to make it abundantly clear that she's not royal, and he needs to establish boundaries, because nicey didn't work. It didn't work. Nicey from the late, great Queen Elizabeth. I will not have a word said against her. But she was kindly and too generous to Harry and Meghan. And that was a big mistake, saying keep HRH but don't use it. Should have gone. And now we need we need these boundaries. We want no negotiating. You can't negotiate with someone like Meghan Markle. And by the way, forget about Harry, because Harry is horrified by it. Take my word for it, okay? Because I have the seeing eye. And Harry, he is not happy with any of this. He ain't. I promise you. It's very rare. How often do I promise you? But I am promising you now. On my late Alsatian Rusty's life. What a lovely dog. Have I told you the story of Rusty? This is my late German Shepherd Alsatian, which I think you'll agree is a lovely breed. Whatever happened to the German Shepherd Alsatian? It was a very fine dog, wasn't it? Rusty was our beautiful dog. I think he lived for about 14 years. An incredible story. My parents ran a very popular public house in North London. And my uncle opened a public house about 4 miles from there. And it was the first day that my uncle moved. It's a true story. It was the first day that my uncle moved into his public house. So you've got my dad's public house, a pub, and then my uncle's pub. And it was day one, and my uncle was a bit nervous about security. He's like, we just moved in, and I haven't really got proper locks and all of that. And my dad, being a generous and wise man, said, take Rusty. Okay, so what my dad meant by that is take the dog, because this is a German Shepherd Alsatian. They're actually great guard dogs because they're very territorial. So if somebody comes onto their territory, they bark like crazy. So it's like an alarm system. They're actually not really that aggressive. They're just noisy, in fact, and beautiful, intelligent animals. So Rusty was borrowed by my lovely uncle, my fabulous uncle. What happened is that my Uncle John, can I just say that? I was thinking, shall I? But he's a legend, and it's a lovely story, so I'm going to share it. Because we often, for family members, I often create names like my 2 sons, Elton and Bernie. But my Uncle John, my dear Uncle John, right? Legendary man and amazing pub he ran. He wanted to borrow the dog overnight for a little bit of security. Brilliant, right? Great news. Except that something extraordinary happens, which is that my dad drives this German Shepherd Alsatian from one part of London to the other, which would be the Camden area, Kentish Town, over to King's Cross, 3 or 4 miles. The dog is transported in a car. And he's never been to King's Cross because he's a German Shepherd Alsatian. He lives in our home. So he's driven to this place and he gets there, and he's a lovely dog, Rusty, very tolerant. I used to actually, as a small child, I'd never recommend this, but as a child, he was so patient. When very little, I used to ride him like a horse. I get on his back and put my arms around his neck and just go for little walks. Don't do that with a dog, but you could do it with Rusty because he was very special. And anyway, it's all good. So Rusty turns up and he's, protecting the house, barking at strangers, all of that. No problem. And my dad's happy or whatever. So my dad's back at home. My dad gets a phone call around 10 p.m. from Uncle John. And Uncle John says, Rusty has gone. Rusty's not here anymore. Rusty has escaped. So basically, Rusty, being a canny dog, escaped the property. I guess he thought that this is not where I live. And no one's going to dictate to me as to where I stay. I'm going home. So basically, he gets out. And think about busy London with, cars and buses and taxis and all the rest of it. And it's 4 miles away. And of course, he wouldn't know where the heck he was because he was driven there. So we just thought the worst. There was a couple of hours of looking for Rusty in the King's Cross area. and they found a few ladies of the night, but not much else. A couple of drug dealers. It's sketchy. King's Cross is good, but it's sketchy. Anyway, fine. So at that point, right, it's about, midnight, 1 a.m. My dad goes to bed and he's like, I don't think we're going to see Rusty again. Rusty's gone. No judgment, by the way, to Uncle John, because this was a new pub. God knows what doors worked and didn't work, and things ajar, and is busy moving stuff in. It's going to happen. It's understandable. That was it. Rusty's gone. Legend of the family gone. And very tragic. Can you imagine under what circumstances? Did he go under a bus? You don't want to think about it, do you? That's no problem. Anyway, Dad's in bed. At 5 a.m, my dad is awoken by almost like wolf-like howling outside the bedroom from the street. Ho! Ho! Rah, 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 rah. Suddenly realised I don't know how to do a dog barking. Note to self, practice how to do a barking dog sound. But ho! My father opens the bedroom window of his pub, which is 4 miles from King's Cross. And he looks out the window and there is Rusty. Rusty's back. Rusty made a decision to leave the pub in King's Cross and somehow for many hours navigate his way back to Kentish Town around 4 miles. It's quite a story, isn't it? It is a true story. It's an incredible story. And can you imagine, aren't dogs special? So here's the thing. Harry, lovely, lovely Harry, Harry doesn't like any of this stuff. He's not happy with Lily and Archie being on the Instagram, He doesn't want his kids plastered on the internet. We talked about that before. The press intrusion was horrible for him. He's had it since he was born, and he feels the press and the paparazzi went after his mother and are responsible for her passing, which I tend to agree with. So, he hates all of that. He doesn't like the fame. He's not interested. And he certainly doesn't like Meghan using HRH. He didn't like it when Meghan mocked Queen Elizabeth on the Netflix show. Do you remember when she did the reenacted doing the curtsy? The idea, because I think she didn't only break a promise to Queen Elizabeth, she mocked her on TV. Queen Elizabeth II with the reenacting of the curtsy. She said, I didn't know what to do. I'm like, I will tell you that one of the worst qualities in a human being is contempt. If you show contempt for someone, that is about the lowest thing you can do other than ending their life. Showing contempt is a truly, truly low and base act. And it's all too easy for Meghan to do that. I believe she has narcissistic qualities, and people who are narcissistic inclined do have contempt for other people, pretty much everyone, because their whole identity is based upon I'm perfect and I'm great and everyone else is beneath me. So I promise you, Harry ain't happy about any of this. But what can he do? He's not going to police this. If it wasn't enough for him to sit there and watch his wife mock Queen Elizabeth, if that wasn't, grounds for divorce, certainly grounds for him telling her off and saying, don't ever do that again. And if you do, this marriage is over. If you dare besmirch the memory of Queen Elizabeth II, then I'm out. All right? That's what a normal man would say. I'm out. That is I'm so sorry, attacking Queen Elizabeth, my grandmother, whose first prime minister when she became queen was Winston Churchill. Right? And her last was Liz Truss, which is unfortunate. She didn't go out on a high. Yikes. So bad. So bad. And he's powerless to do anything about it because he's a man child. He's her bag carrier. He's the help now. He's her whipping boy. And it's tragic. So I want Charles to publicly strip them of the HRH. It's good enough for them, right? Because she will lose her royal cachet. It will diminish her. She'll be banging on about Duchess this and Duchess that. No problem. But she won't be HRH anymore. And it does mean something because when Diana gave up HRH, she was on record as saying she regretted giving it up. And you can't trust Megs. I've got to tell you. Now, can we have a moment in the show where I'm nice about Meghan, right? I'm going to be a positive. What I'll say is she's an extraordinary person. She's incredibly good. She's got one talent. It's not acting. It's not cooking. It's not being a host. It's not keeping promises. The one thing she's really good at doing is getting what she wants. She does that brilliantly, and you have to acknowledge that. She's damn good at getting what she wants. But what that means is she's ruthless, and she will do anything. This is a woman that comfortably doesn't speak to her father, who's 80 and unwell. Thomas Markle is a big old unit of a man. Okay, he's a good, lovely guy. I don't wish to diminish the guy at all, but he doesn't enjoy robust health. He's overweight. He's packing what the Londoners they would phrase it in this way. They would say that he's packing a little timber. Okay, he's a unit. He's what an Irish person would describe as. The Irish are very polite. They would never call someone fat. They'd say Jerry is he's not what you'd call a slim man. That's how the Irish go around the houses, to tell you the truth. He's not, old Joe, Big Joe is not what you would call a slim man. He's a big man. He's certainly not a slim man. You wouldn't call him a slim man. You'd never refer to him as a slim man. He's a big man. And she, his wife, Brenda, she's not what you would describe as a slim woman. She's stout. She's a fine, stout woman with stature and volume. The woman has volume, sure she does. By the way, about the only accent I'm allowed to do. Politically correct. It's the only one about it. I'm a Dolan. I can do what I like. I'm an Irishman myself. So, we've got to wrap this up. But don't forget, a couple of days now, and we are in the United States. New York City will be the first video. Can you imagine? Don't know where it'll be. You'll have to tune in to find out. Will it be Times Square? Will it be the Statue of Liberty? Will it be Wall Street? Greed is good. Go to Wall Street, make some money. That's what Meghan wants. She wants to be a billionaire. So she's desperate. She'll do anything for money. And that's why Charles must act. Because if you think that she's leveraged the royal patronage already, you ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing yet. Honestly, you haven't. There is a lot more to come. It's going to get worse. So what she's got to do is she's got to be strict to HRH. And Charles, who's far too nice for his own good, must punish her and punish Harry. I mean, that's what I don't know about you. Let me know in the comments. But do you not want some? Don't you know I'm not Meghan Markle anymore? I'm Meghan Sussex, my husband. Let me know in the comments. Am I the only one that wants Harry and Meghan to be punished? When are they going to be punished? Because you and I get punished all the time, don't we? If we drive too quickly, we get a ticket from the cops. And if we park in the wrong place, we get towed and we have to pay a fortune to recover the car. And if we don't pay our taxes, they come after us, they take the money, they fine us, and they get more money. They take interest upon and top of the money that we owed them already. And if you punch someone in the nose in a nightclub, you're going down, and you're going down to Chinatown. So you and I, we get punished when we do things that we shouldn't do. But when are Harry and Meghan going to be punished for what they've done? That's why I said that King Charles should sue them for the Oprah interview and take them down to Chinatown, is where I'm taking you, to Chinatown, which has East Asian food such as noodles in soup, which they call a meal. To me, it's still soup. Okay. Don't you can't kid a kidder. This is not a meal. You've given me soup, which is not a meal. You're telling me there's noodles in there. There's noodles in a soup. The clue is in the names of soup. I'm from the United Kingdom, and I want to see a piece of meat, some vegetables. I don't want any liquid whatsoever. I don't want a bowl of fluid. That's not a meal, not where I come from. Not on my watch. She's not what you would call a slim lady. She's stout, is what she is. Sure. So let me know. I really want to know in the comments. Would you like to see those two punished? Because I would like to see punishment. I would like to see accountability. Harry's never had it because he was born. He's the youngest. They're all spoiled. I'm the youngest. Spoiled rotten by my mother, Mrs. Dolan. Spoiled rotten. And my dear father, Seamus. Spoiled rotten. So I was. Because the youngest is. So he was doted on. And it's a big mistake because it's created a monster. And of course, Meghan effectively was an only child. So the two of them have suffered the worst aspects of being either the youngest or the only child, which is self-absorbed. Not all only children are like that, but they are. And so no one's ever said no to Harry. No one's, never had a clip round the ear. And except from old William with the left hook, but we don't condone violence on the show. We should resolve everything through peaceful means. What is going on in the world, by the way? I mean, seriously? Yikes! What are we going to do? If there is a world war, let me tell you that the Mark Dolan show will be broadcasting every day from a bunker. Right? This show will never stop being delivered to you, because if there was war, then you're going to need the Mark Dolan show more than ever. Okay, and I understand that. In wartime, certain things become essential. You need munitions, don't you? You need your ammo, and you need vehicles, army tanks, you need planes, you need uniforms, right? Of course you do. You have to board up windows of houses. You have to evacuate kids, women, and children. Good luck working out what a woman is these days if there's a war. Good luck with that one, folks. Yikes! And I'm a lady too. Don't I get to go to the countryside? You need rations, don't you? You need essential supplies of, food, butter, milk, eggs, meat. And the other thing that you need in a war is you need the Mark Dolan show. And this show will be coming to you every day from my underground bunker somewhere in Central Europe. And I might go to the States, actually. It might be the safest place. I might just hit rural Wyoming. And you'll still get the show. So, but I would just like to see some punishment. I do. I want accountability, because that would be the first time it's ever happened to Harry, and probably the first time it's ever happened to Meghan. To be fair to Meg, let's be nice about Meghan again for a second time. Don't make a habit of it. The other thing that's impressive about her is she has come from obscurity to global fame, right? It doesn't matter what way you look at it, that is an achievement. Harry, silver spoon in the mouth. The guy didn't do anything. He won the womb lottery, didn't he? He won the historic battle of the ovaries in 1980, whatever it was when he was born. And that's not a skill. That's not a talent to have incubated in the correct urethra. My knowledge of the female anatomy is at best limited. But the bottom line is that, it's just a fortune of biology. That's his life. Okay. And therefore, so Meghan, I'm sure, I reckon she's had her hard knocks. She's had, I think a slightly chaotic domestic setting when she grew up with Doria, allegedly, according to Tom Bower in his book, smoking the wacky backy, the jazz cigarettes, not as bad as the flower sprinkles, which in my opinion are toxic, hallucinogenic, and people aren't supposed to eat flowers. And then apparently interested in other men that weren't Thomas Markle, which is just devastating. And so, she's probably Meghan has had some real life happen to her. I don't think we can take that away from her. All right. She's not a Nepo baby in a sense. Yes, her father worked in the film industry, the TV industry as a lighting director. Sure, he opened the door, but she's the one that got herself out there and all the rest of it. So, but Harry, there's no excuse. He's just done nothing. Do you know what I mean? He's just plodding around the world, feeling sorry for himself. And I really would, in particular, actually, I think Harry I'd like to see accountable for his actions. Because, like I said before, there are always Meghan Markles in the world. There will always be Meghan Markles. And he should have been smart enough to spot who she was when she came along and what her motives were. But he was naive and he was silly and he was foolish. So what I want, King Charles, if you're watching, and it's just a matter of time before the monarch watches the show, because he's got to get his truthful information from somewhere. And the Mark Dolan show is the unalloyed truth. And King Charles, before I go, I've got one more thing to say. Please strip them of HRH. And then please ask the Prime Minister to do an act of Parliament and take away Duke and Duchess of Sussex as well. Because if the couple are stripped of Duke and Duchess of Sussex, it means that when Meghan and Harry divorce, which they will, she can't call herself Duchess of Sussex. If they divorce, she keeps Duchess of Sussex. So they've got to get rid of Duchess of Sussex. And then the other great thing is that if they lose Duke and Duchess of Sussex, she becomes Princess Henry, which is hilarious because that's Harry's original first name, and she'd have to pay homage to Harry every time she opened her mouth. It would be a thing of beauty. Today's show has been a thing of beauty. Been so great to talk. Can't wait for the next video tomorrow. And please subscribe. Please like if you can. Stay awesome. Bye for now.